Thank you for watching Meatsauce Monty, week 2 of our special edition, our season here at Mystic Lake Casino.
I can't tell you how excited I am for today's episode, simply because I get to work with Scott, the production manager behind this. Is so brilliant.
You're so good with names.
I mean,
You're
the
so
guy
good with names.
is brilliant. When I grew up as a kid, I always wanted to work with Martin Scorsese. This is the closest.
This
thing.
is the closest you'll
Plus,
ever get.
Scott's
Scott.
better looking.
All right.
So I'm just going to go with it.
What a compliment
right
for Scott.
Well, I feel bad. I may or may not forgotten who he was when he was walking away from us, but that's a whole different issue. What do you got?
Today, special edition, we're going to go 28 and a half minutes.
What?
Wall to wall,
Oh, I'd
no
love to go
commercial
28
breaks.
and a half minutes.
90% Vikings,
Oh, TV.
10% pornography.
Oh, well, sweet.
Are you happy with that?
Yeah, 10% pornography is about all I watch.
That's the ratio that you...
Yeah.
All right, well, let's start with the 90% Vikings. 1-0, Sam Bradford, NFC Offensive Player of the Week. You're already hitting the...
Yeah.
You need it right away.
Yeah.
27 completions out of 32 attempts, 346 yards, 3 TDs, no picks. Like I said, Offensive Player of the Week. Your thoughts on Sam Bradford?
Sam Bradford will go down as the best Minnesota Vikings quarterback of all time. They'll sign him to about a 6-year deal, and he'll go down as the best Minnesota Vikings quarterback of all time.
Are you saying this to be prepositerous?
No,
Are
I'm
you
saying it to
this
be
seriously?
100% true.
You say this after one performance that was...
Okay. You watch him on Saturday or on last Monday, and it's the first time in a long time that he's had like the same system and everything for an extended period of time. He's either hurt, they changed coaches, his teams were horrible in St. Louis, coaches were fired. He gets hurt, he's out. He moves to Philly. He plays for, a year? Moves. Yeah. Pat Shurmur comes back and forth with him. The thing that sticks out mostly to me from the game on Monday night is that pass he threw to Jarius Wright, where Jarius wasn't even open.
Right. Double coverage, one behind him, one in front.
It takes a lot. There are few quarterbacks that can do that. And as somebody pointed out on Twitter on Tuesday night, Tuesday afternoon, whatever, after the football game, you rarely see an NFC quarterback that isn't Aaron Rodgers make throws like Sam Bradford threw. And everyone who he plays with loves him. Sam Bradford, when he gets time, will pick you apart. As long as that knee isn't a major injury, if he gets protected, this team could win 12 or 13 football games.
Wow.
They're that good.
I
doubted them.
Week. You picked against them last week.
I did. I said they'd start 0-3 on the power trip. Dalvin Cook is phenomenal. He's way better than I thought he was.
Next on the notes, but if you want to...
Yeah, Sam Bradford's wonderful, and he'll be an MVP candidate this season.
Dalvin Cook, 127 rushing yards, most for a rookie's first game. It just seemed fitting that it was in a game against Adrian Peterson, whose record he broke.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's any extra meaning to that? You think that he's going to be the best 100%. Running back in Vikings history
now
after one game?
I don't know about that, but he's got that. Adrian Peterson was more of an inseam runner, and he was going one direction.
Yeah.
The best runs Cook had all game were that outside run.
To the edge.
And once he gets around that corner, he's tough to catch. And if you watched it like I did over and over again, because I have literally nothing else to do.
And you watch this on YouTube.
Yeah, of course.
Many times.
Yeah, when I'm not. Never
I know.
Mind.
Stay.
But you watch that play where he runs and seals the game, that 33-yarder.
Yep.
If Elflein blocks out that linebacker, gets in front of him instead of kind of following behind him, he's gone for a touchdown, and that's 150, and we're talking about him and Kareem Hunt in the same breath. He's wonderful.
Which we still are, because...
He's wonderful. And think about it. He was a second-round pick, and this is a lesson to all you kids out there. He literally was a second-round pick because of the company he keeps.
You're right.
That's it. The talent's all there. He's the best running back in Florida State history.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
But they waited till
and
the second
he's a great
round.
guy. Everyone says he's a good dude.
Right.
I mean, he was in the locker room, and he was so humble, and he talked to everybody, took questions from everybody after the game. This is I just say I'm excited.
I can tell you are
now, they
extremely
may get killed
excited.
today by Pittsburgh, but yeah.
All right. See, are you cheating off my notes here? It's like you're going
literally
Bradford,
zero into this.
Dalvin Cook. Yeah, but you're here, and all right. So Pittsburgh, they also won. They're 1-0.
Yeah.
Cleveland is who they beat in Week 1, 21-18. Is that an indicator that Pittsburgh might not be as good as everybody thinks they are? The fact that they had a 3-point game. Yes, it was on the road. It was in Cleveland. Or is this a sign that Cleveland might be a little bit better?
Well, the thing with Cleveland that you have to keep in mind is they cut their best cornerback, Joe Hayden, before the season started. Then they come back and they start a rookie quarterback over one of the weirdest moves we saw all off season when they brought in what's-his-face from Denver, who then went to Houston and then goes to Cleveland, where they Brock Osweiler, where it was an NBA move. They just wanted the salary. Think about it. You're so bad at your job that they are still paying you $16 million just to not be on the team. So they start a rookie. TJ Watt had a great game. You got to worry about him a little, and that's against Joe Thomas. We don't have a Joe Thomas. But Cleveland's Cleveland. You can't count Cleveland in at all. They beat Cleveland by three. I think the problem with, I don't think Pittsburgh is that good, but it's a tough place to play. Sure. It'll be a great game, and the weather I think is supposed to be good. And they got one of the best players in the league in Antonio Brown. It'll be a fun matchup, but that's why they paid Rhodes that kind of money. It'll be great to watch.
That's what I was going to say next is let's pick it apart, Pittsburgh's offense. Are you most worried about Brown? Are you most worried about Big Ben? Are you most worried about Le'Veon Bell?
I'm most worried about Brown because he was 11 for 11 in the passes that were thrown to him. But Ben Lieber, who's way smarter than I am, said most of those he was wide open.
Right. Because the coverage for Cleveland was garbage.
How is he wide open? How do you let the best wide receiver in football, the first or second or third overall pick in most fantasy drafts, wide open? But Ben's stable and old. Ben's my age. He is. He's a stable. He just stands in the pocket.
You think we can get to him?
Yeah, I think they can get to him. And Zimmer's played him in the past, being with Cincinnati. He knows all that stuff. And Le'Veon Bell got off to a slow start. He's also played no preseason. He didn't come to camp, all that. So this is kind of Le'Veon Bell's preseason. Mm-hmm. I think they win in a close one, but
we were supposed to save our predictions for later.
Well, I haven't given the score.
Okay, well,
maybe. I almost swore there, but it'll change by the time. I'll say the Vikings will lose in 10
by the end of the show.
Of course.
So of all those weapons that I said, you say Brown.
Yeah, I think Brown's a stud. Brown's a once-in-a-lifetime guy in the NFL, and he's so dynamic once he gets the ball. But that's why you paid Rhodes that kind of money.
Talking about defense, Xavier Rhodes.
Yeah.
Their matchup that they know each other from high school. Yeah, they're down in the Miami area.
I think he was a senior, Brown was a senior, and Rhodes was a sophomore.
But they knew each other.
2 years apart. Yeah, they're like good buddies. They train with each other in Miami.
Down there in Miami.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's just side information that the media is playing around with? Or do you think that that's something that they honestly have a relationship, so that will add a little fuel to the fire when he's shadowing him, maybe a little talking back and forth?
Yeah, I think they want to. They want to beat each other. They're competitors. You're good at what they do. They're two of the, Xavier Rhodes is a top 10 cornerback, and Brown's one of the best. And how much pride did he take in it last year? Yeah, last year when Rhodes shut down Odell Beckham Jr. for 14 yards or something. It wasn't that low, but I think
Odell Beckham Jr. has great games and bad games.
Yeah,
it seems like Antonio Brown has consistent.
Always great games.
He's always targeted. He always gets receptions.
It's the best.
He doesn't always get touchdowns, but he gets the receptions.
Right. So it'll be. We'll see how it goes, but it'll be a fun game regardless.
Let's switch back to the Vikings and talk about offense. The offensive line. Last week we said it was their first start together, all five of them. Do you think that they can have another good performance? They didn't have a whole lot of penalties.
No,
they only gave up one sack. Their run blocking was good. Their pass protection was phenomenal. Do you think that they have already gelled and that they don't need time to be together?
Well, the tough part is it helps when you got a new offensive line that starts on at home. That helped huge. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You still got a rookie at center, but we saw him a couple times get out on that. I think the screen pass to McKinnon. Elfline's out there, right in front of him, doing what a center should do, which we've seen with Jeff Christie, John Sullivan, all those centers before, Mick Tingelhoff. All those guys are big pulling centers. That's a very big trademark of a Vikings offense and the offense they want to run. I worry about Easton because a couple of the time you can cover up a bad guard. Mm-hmm. Not that he's bad, but you can cover up a guard. That's why most guys play guard. I mean, Steve Hutchinson is a Hall of Fame player, but you got guys that you can move into guard, just kind of keep them off the edge, and you don't have to do much with hiking the ball. The road's a totally different ball game because now the Steelers have seen it for a week. They've seen it play out. They've seen it. They've seen it on film. But I think they got rid of the guy in Alex Boone that caused just a headache.
You said that last week too.
I think they got rid of the guy that was a bad apple for the whole group, and I think they're, it's like having a bad coworker. Once he leaves or she leaves, The morale goes up in the office and it works out.
I'm not going to touch that, by the way.
No, that's all right.
You could have, but
I don't know. I don't think I'm a bad employee.
All right. So we're going to make our predictions by the end of the show, even though you kind of already made yours.
Not really. It may change.
You might change.
I may talk
You've got
myself
time.
out of it.
If you come here to Mystic Lake Sunday mornings, you can make your own picks.
What time will that be?
From 7 a.m. to 11:45 every Sunday morning.
Okay.
And if you get all of them right, you could win up to $5,000 in free slot play.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. If you could get all those games right, the most picks
Are
throughout
they
the
giving
season.
money away here?
They absolutely are.
Hell yeah.
Top 20 players with the most correct picks.
Can
free
I do
slot
it
play.
right now?
I don't. But we work here. I don't know if I don't have that in the notes. If we get to play,
Samson over there.
Samson, he'll get you here Sunday morning.
If
So
he's
Sunday
done
morning,
asking
Mystic
me about
Lake,
my drug problems.
7 a.m. to 11:45,
Weirdo.
all season long. So come here. And also, if you come here and it's a home game,
Yeah.
you get a free shuttle ride from here
What?
to the bank. No
This
parking,
place
no
is
worries.
like Willy Wonka's factory.
You come here,
minus the dead kids.
you play the games.
Well, it's true.
Yeah. I
That
know.
guy's a murderer.
Yeah.
How was Willy Wonka not in prison? He killed kids. You can't tell me that fat kid survived that
No,
chocolate thing.
he definitely
And as
did
fun
not.
as it was for like 30 seconds, and I was a fat kid. I still am a fat kid. As fun as it would be to like be in a chocolate fountain and then go up in the tube
And get caught in the chute,
you
and there
die.
you go.
Plus,
Yeah.
you don't want to swim. It'd be boring. Just let's get this out here. Willy Wonka is a serial murderer.
Yeah, but-
He, Chuck Manson, Ted Bundy, all in the same breath. He's a serial murderer. He killed kids.
Yeah.
People in prison frown upon that.
I don't even need to produce the show. I
Willy
just
Wonka
need you to
should be in
stand up
prison.
here.
I'm just saying, he should, right? Willy Wonka
Yeah.
should be in
Willy
prison.
Wonka, great kids movie, and you're
No,
saying
it's
he should be in jail.
terrible. He's a murderer. Then he's got that weird Slugworth guy. That guy gives me the absolute creeps. Get away, you weirdo. I don't want your everlasting gobstopper. Gross. It's been in your gross, linty pocket. Get it away. Okay,
Wow.
what?
So you should be a movie critic on the side, and not new movies, old movies. You should just pick them apart as to why they suck.
I don't like a lot of things, and
Yeah,
that's
I can
one
tell
of them.
why.
I'm just saying.
All right.
No one ever brings that up.
Wait, we got
You never
28
had
and a half minutes.
I can go.
I know.
Nobody's ever had
Take a deep breath. You're running a marathon here. Slow
How's
down.
the party? Great, but did you ever think that Willy Wonka's a serial murderer? No, you weirdo. I have friends and a life and family.
That's
I
a
don't
great
sit
pickup
around
line.
all day with a dog.
All right. We're not taking a break. We're going on. We're pivoting, as they say in the political. We're pivoting.
We could talk Blazing Saddles
No,
if you
no,
want.
no, we're not. We will sometime, but not tonight.
Okay.
It's a new segment that we like to call "Give Me Your Honest Opinion." This is a really good talker. I'm sure you've already debated it on the power trip, maybe even your personal life. Who knows? The Vikings have hired Jonah Stillman. He's a Minnetonka grad. See, shaking your head already. The Gen Z advisor.
Okay.
What are your thoughts? The fact that they did this, is it a publicity stunt? Is there a difference between Gen Z, millennial, whatever they want to call it? What purpose does this serve, other than it seems to be getting a lot of people riled up and saying how pointless it is?
Well, I don't know what purpose it serves, but I don't know. I mean, when I was 18, I was working at Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
So if you take that aspect of it, you go, well, what is, I mean, honestly, he's probably the greatest kid. I'm happy for
We're
him.
not going to rip the kid.
Well,
We're not talking
he's
about
18.
Right.
I can rip him.
Well,
and
last year
we just
you-
talked about a serial
Yeah,
murderer.
but last year
of children.
Hey, last year Mitch Leidner, you felt bad about ripping him, saying he was terrible.
Well, he was.
You were like, he's so
He
terrible.
is
We could
terrible.
play a backyard game and you
He
can
is
play better than
terrible.
him. But you're like, oh, he's a college
What
kid. I
team's he
feel
on?
bad. I don't know where he is now.
Right, he's
But
not playing.
He was a college athlete, and you said you didn't
Yeah,
want to rip
well,
him. Now we're talking
what's
about an
his kid's name?
18-year-old, Jonah Stillman.
Well,
Do you
he's-
know
he's
him? Does your
18.
family
I
know?
don't know him. And of course, everybody's like, oh, he's a Minnetonka grad, you entitled whatever.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's- yeah,
the
West
most
Metro.
successful person I know is a Minnetonka grad. So take that, Jonah Hill. What's his name?
Stillman, Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill.
Couple things
Jonah
here.
Stillman.
In the press release yesterday, it said, and I quote, our Generation Z wants to write our own job descriptions.
You're saying
Whatever happened to like
good luck
working,
with that?
right? Whatever happened to like working as a dishwasher,
Yeah.
or like, you know, scrubbing tables? You want to write your own
Well-
job description? Give me a break.
I'm not
this
ripping the
thing's
kid.
an absolute. I don't care about the. He's 18. I
Sure.
can rip him.
Go for it if you want.
I don't understand where like this generation says. I mean, I worked. Oh, we all have busted our balls to get where we are. It's
Right.
not like we just show up and go, well, you know what? I want to own the team. Why? Why? I wrote it in my job description. Shut up. This is an absolute atrocity of the Vikings, and they're normally a great run organization. But What do they need this kid for? What about all the other, like, there are a bunch of people I know that work for that team, you know, that are in their 20s that have worked super
Very hard.
hard. Sam Newton, all these guys that have worked their way up to get, and then
Yeah.
Jonah walks in with a list of demands. Give me a break. I mean, I don't
Okay.
get what they're doing, and people I know, who I won't name, are like, they thought it was an Onion story.
They thought it was a bit.
They thought it was
Yeah.
a bit.
I'm not trying to keep you going here. Jonah has co-authored a book with his dad, and they started a company, I think it's called Gen Z Guru. And again, you're saying, okay, West Metro, Minnetonka, Entitled, whatever. He's done this stuff basically with his father.
Sure, and I've gotten
and so that's opened doors for him.
I get that.
And
I'm
not
one
saying
to talk.
that's okay. I'm just saying I think that's factual.
I
That's part
got
of
money
the story.
from my dad till I was about 31 years old, so I cannot.
Nothing
stand,
wrong with that.
No, but I just the thing about like the entitlement where it's like we just want to show up and we want. You
things.
work hard. I get that. But you don't just show up and get what you want. Okay, that's the case. I want to be Dan Barrero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to be.
You should be the drive
right,
time host.
Yeah. I want to be Dan Patrick. What if
Sure.
I write it in a job
In your
description?
job
Is
description.
that what I get?
When your contract is
Give
up,
me a
that's what you
break.
should do. Write that up.
No, I mean, I'm sure he's a good kid, but
Do
I
you-
co-authored a book with my dad.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So last part about
It's just,
this.
it's frustrating.
Some people are saying that
You gotta
the
work
NFL.
hard.
Some
Not
people are
that
saying
I
that the NFL is saying that Gen Z, which is
I don't know what Gen Z
it's people
is.
1995 to now. So they'd be a total of the oldest they could be is 22 years old.
Okay.
Just getting out of school. What they're saying is those people might not be as big as sports fans. They might not spend the money. So they're trying to reach out and see their brand go to the next generation.
Sure.
Do you buy any of that, or is this? Because I personally don't.
I think football's biggest problem is that they worry too much about what's going on outside of it. Just control what you can control.
Sure.
Control the sport that you have. Just don't try to do too much. It's like if you draw a picture and then you just keep adding to it. That's what they're doing. It just makes it all.
Just
there's
leave
too
it.
much going on. Just
It's
leave
fine.
it like it is.
Just leave it.
People like football. As long as fantasy football's around, the younger generation will play it. I don't know. What did Jonah say?
He basically said they're a generation like none other, and you can
They
read
all
about it
are.
on your own.
Yeah,
He's
right.
very. I mean,
ask the greatest generation of all time what they would have thought about writing your own job description
when they were 18
Right.
years old.
Ask my
Yeah.
grandfather was a World War II vet. What he would think of that.
Well, even think of art. Are you considered a millennial?
I don't know.
I'm right at the
I
edge
don't know.
between Gen X and millennial. You pay your dues. You work your job.
Right.
You go to school if you want to go to school. You get a blue
Correct.
collar job if you want to get a blue collar job.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do.
Right.
to
You don't just
work
show up
hard.
and
Right. And
I want to be the CEO.
so I feel bad because this kid is just going to get ripped.
Well, yeah, and he
forever.
got put in a bad spot. But if you look at the situation, he put himself in the situation. That's
Right.
more than you can say about. I bet half those kids are, they aren't going to college or whatever. But
Sure.
he put himself in this situation, so he's taking the initiative. And the one thing in life, you have to have initiative. Bosses love initiative.
Yeah.
And that, if he's got that, that'll work. I hope the best for him. But the thing about the press release is ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you want to do another honest opinion real quick, or you want to do another new segment?
Sure.
It's your call.
Let's do another honest opinion. I like this.
You
bit.
like honest opinion?
Yeah.
Jamel Hill, ESPN. Are you aware of the story that's going on with her?
Yeah.
The tweets basically ripping Donald Trump.
Yeah.
This is not a political show. I'm not asking for your political opinion. Quite frankly, I don't want to
Sure.
know. But Jamel Hill having to apologize to ESPN and then ESPN accepting it, and the White House press secretary saying that she should be fired. What is your opinion on Jamel Hill and what she said in her use of Twitter?
My only opinion would be is that this country isn't the biggest fan of the president, the majority isn't. But the one thing that we have done in this country is we've decided that the president of the United States, just the title of that is a joke, which is sad. I mean, some of the best people of all time have been the president. The president of the United States is one of the most honored jobs in the whole world, and it's just become a punchline. The only opinion I have on it is you can't call the president of the United States a white supremacist. You just can't.
Okay.
You can't. You can't.
You're getting more detailed
If
than I
I'd done it, I'd be fired. I
think
would,
so?
100%, 100%, I'd be fired.
I think you don't think the station would stand behind you and say that's his
No, I'd
view?
be fired.
Really?
You can't call the president of the United States a white supremacist.
Do you think she should have been fired by ESPN?
I don't know. That's not my call.
Well, but I'm asking. I know it's not your call. It's a question on our show. Just say no, and we'll move on. freedom of
Sure,
speech.
but you can't yell
Yes, she
fire in a
used it.
crowded
Yeah.
theater.
Don't yell it here either. This isn't a theater.
I'm loud. Sorry. Can we go back to talking about Willy Wonka? I'd rather talk about that.
No, we're going to move on now.
Okay.
Honest opinion.
But I would be fired. Yeah, should she be fired? I don't know.
Okay, the
I haven't thought
fastest
about it.
honest opinion ever. Olivia Munn, the tweet with Nick Swardson. Is Olivia Munn hot?
Yeah.
There. See, look at how easy that was.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
See, I thought there'd be a
She's
nice
hot.
big discussion.
Super hot. And I have one, what's the thing with 1 degree of Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
I have 1 degree.
Yeah, 'cause Swardson.
I know Olivia Munn, because Swardson knows it.
Then I'm 2 degrees
Correct.
through you, Swardson, to her.
See?
If you can get them
I got
here
more
for a
than
taping
just-
of our show,
He just left today.
I will do anything. Okay, let's go.
You think I'm crazy?
Swardson or Olivia Munn?
Me. You think
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
nuts. He's insane. In
He's
a good
from
way.
St. Paul. You gotta love him.
He's great.
You have
I love
to
him.
love
I
him.
love him to death.
Another new segment. I think you're gonna like the name of this one. Paul's Pissy Pants.
What?
I'm going back. I came up with this bit. I looked at your Twitter profile within the last week
Okay.
and things that seem to get you going.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get you going. I'm just saying maybe where
Sure.
your frame of mind.
Sure.
We're staying a little bit with football. Gophers head coach PJ Fleck. You tweeted this week that he is the Todd of all Todds.
Pass.
You're gonna
Pass.
Why
100% pass.
pass on him or the
Pass.
question?
Pass on the whole thing. Pass.
You don't want to talk any.
Nope. Pass.
I want to push you on this.
Nope.
All right.
Pass.
You sure?
100% pass.
Okay. You sure?
100%.
All right. Your Twitter verification. You tweeted anybody who has less than 20,000 followers. It doesn't matter. They have no use, no reason to be verified.
Sure. People with less
Why
than
do you-
100,000 followers shouldn't be verified.
Why do you say that?
Because one, verification now is like.
It's just a blue check mark.
Sure,
Who
but-
cares?
right.
Then why do you say that people?
Because there are people with like 400 followers that are like your verified account. There are really people that care what you have to say. I mean, honestly, like
What if it was somebody like a school principal or a mayor
no,
or an
you don't need
elected
any of that.
official?
No.
And it was a
No.
false account and they're putting all this stuff out there.
Sure,
That's
but-
why you verify
Yeah,
them.
I get
the amount
that,
of
but, like-
followers. See, but when you say
there's
something like
yeah,
that.
but I say a lot of things.
I know,
One,
that's why
mostly to
I
get
go back
attention.
and you're-
Yes, if you have less than 20,000 Twitter followers, there's no point in you being verified.
Even if it's somebody.
Unless you're like a government official or like a school, sure. But like some random Todd who writes a blog, no one cares about him. I'm serious.
a random Todd.
But and I'm not verified just because I don't really care. But like
You
I
got
don't
70 grand.
I don't think PA is verified. Who
You're
cares? He has like 125,000.
Real quick, Paul's Pissy Pants. Joe Buck and Packers. You said you'd rather bathe with your grandma.
Yeah, I would.
Would you elaborate on that?
Joe
either?
Buck's the worst announcer in all of sports. And when you watch a Packers game, it's like getting constant dental work. Well, that thing that they put in the side of your mouth is just spraying hot orange juice into your mouth. It's that awful combination. They're
I need
horrible.
to talk to your parents about what dentist
Horrible.
you went to where you're getting
I
hot
have
orange
perfect
juice
teeth now.
sprayed
No, I'm
into
just
your
saying that's
mouth.
what the combination is like.
Okay.
It's like I'd rather get dental work without Novocaine than what? Joe Buck's just unbearable. He's just so bad. He's annoying. Everything the Packers do is the right thing, and
Yeah,
it's
and Aaron
a
Rodgers
horrible
specifically.
combination. Yeah, neither of them played well in the first half, and they gave him credit for everything. Yeah.
All right, it's time. We've got 2 more things. We're calling it Mystic Musings.
Okay.
We're going to do our picks.
Okay.
So last week, you picked first, and you picked that New Orleans would beat the Vikings. So I said, I'm just going to disagree with you. Although I was nervous, I disagreed. So I'm 1-0, you're 0-1. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
I'm going to pick the Vikings to win again.
Okay.
You can agree with me. You don't have to. It doesn't matter. I'm going to pick the Vikings to win because what we saw last week, I think if all of those things hold place, if the line is still good, if Bradford has time, if Dalvin Cook shows up, if our defense can hold them. New Orleans is a high-powered offense. We held them to a lot of field goals and just 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
I think the same thing can be true in Pittsburgh because they only scored 21 against Cleveland. So I'm thinking the Vikings are going to win. I'm thinking it's going to be about a 27-21, 24. It's going to be about a 6 to 3 point game. Vikings win. Your thoughts?
Well, I think I thought the same thing this time last year when the Vikings went to Carolina. I'm like, well, this is the game where it all comes crashing down. And they went out, and in the second half of that Carolina game, they looked great. They proved on Sunday that they're a second-half team, and the best thing that the Vikings did, and it's a formula that a lot of the NFL has taken. We saw with the Chiefs last week. You get the ball going into the second half, you score, then you get the ball back and you score again. The Patriots, that's their MO, and the Chiefs used it against them last Thursday night, a week ago, and we'll see if the Vikings can do it. I think the Vikings will win, but everything hinges on that offensive line. So, but I think the Vikings, I think they're 5.5-point underdogs. So if it were on a neutral site, they'd be 2.5-point underdogs.
Yep.
I think if you put it all together, I think it'd be more of a pick'em game. Now, as long as Bradford's knee's 100% healthy, I think we're in good shape. But I think they win 28-24.
That's very close to what I said.
Yeah, I wasn't listening to what you said. So
I said 27-24 or 27-21.
I think they win 28-24.
I wasn't listening. I was just waiting to talk.
Correct, always.
It's time for our special segment, What's in the Box?
Okay.
We did it last week on our YouTube, and it was the red balloon that I know scared you.
A little.
You were very frightened.
Yeah, I've been up since, yeah.
This week we've got a special edition, What's in the Box?
Okay.
This is Todd's idea.
Well, then it's going to be a terrible idea.
All right, so do you want to open the box, or do you want me to open the box?
You open it.
All right, you got to be the one to look in there.
Oh.
Happy birthday to you. Take it out.
Happy birthday to you.
My hands are too short.
Happy birthday, Mr. Meatsauce. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, the crowd. Thank you. Happy birthday.
Too bad I gave up cake for Lent.
See, 21.
Yeah.
And I don't know if 21 is Todd's joke or if we're at a casino, he wants you to go play blackjack later.
First beer.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't
your-
wait.
your-
Thank you.
your first
Thank you. Thank you,
alcoholic
Todd.
beverage.
That's very
So
nice.
happy birthday. Are you doing
First I
anything
thought it was-
special on your day?
I'll probably get hammered. Cry
And then eat the
myself to sleep.
cupcakes.
I appreciate it. Who wants one?
Are we going to hand these out?
Samson?
We'll hand these out. Samson, you need one? All right. All right. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoy your day.
I appreciate
And,
it. You guys are great.
We'll celebrate this every year when we have our show on Sunday
It's like
mornings.
Little Wayne says. It's like today's my birthday.
But it is your birthday.
No, yeah.
So,
He
all
did
right.
say that.
That does it for the special 28.5-minute marathon celebrating the birthday, Thursday Night Lights, Mystic Lake.
Go see it.
All right. Have a good week, everybody. Go Vikes. See you next week.